I would like to preface this video by saying in absolutely no form should you send any hate towards any of these creators. That is not going to be a good thing for you or the people I am talking about in this video. Sending hate, though it sounds pretentious of me to say this, does only cause issues. So it's best to just kind of be civilized about this. Hi! I'm Chicky Soup, and today I want to discuss a recent drama in the Yandere Simulator community. A few days ago, Sophie Stardrop posted a video about her experiences with Yandere Dev. If you don't know, Yandere Dev, not at all a good person. It's very hard to just discuss it in a very casual, quick video like this, so I do recommend, if you don't know the situation, to look up other more informative video essays, but I do have to warn you that there is very sensitive and triggering topics in them, such as grooming, pedophilia, general hatred and animosity towards others, bullying, etc., etc. So just be careful if you decide to do your own research. But anyway, in this recent video titled Yandere Dev has attempted to sabotage my game, she goes over the fact that one of the characters recently got a new redesign that looks very similar to one of her designs in her own Yandere game. This character is Raiburu. Raiburu has been in the game since basically the very beginning. All of the original models in Yandere Simulator are not owned by Yandere Dev/Alex. They were all models bought off the Unity Asset Store. This includes Raiburu, who used to be known as Rival-chan, and who was the original model for Osana Najimi, who later got turned into a different character. Raiburu's original model was named Satomi, which you can pretty easily look up. So while she is no longer a main rival, she was added to the game to be Osana's bodyguard type, to make it harder to just straight up eliminate Osana. With her new redesign, her hair color got changed, her eye color got changed, and the bows in her hair got changed. Her hair is now more of a blonde to pink, kind of strawberry blondish. Her bows have been changed from scrunchies to petal bows, and they're a much lighter pink, and her eyes, most noticeably, have been changed from golden to blue. Sophie Stardrop's character also has the peaches strawberry blonde hair, 2 pink bows, and blue eyes. Now, the most common criticism of this is nobody owns a color palette, and that is 100% true. When you look at comparisons to the colors, they are very, very similar, but this can obviously just be a coincidence, and they're not all matching. Now, another criticism given to this is that Raiburu actually had old art when she was still Rival-chan, and in that old art, she had blue eyes, these petal-like bows, and her hair wasn't as bright as Raiburu's second design. This is another thing that I want to go over. This is Raiburu's second design. Her first design was the Satomi model, so she already did technically get a redesign. It is extremely close to the Satomi model, don't get me wrong, but it is different. So one thing I am curious about is, why was Raiburu changed now? And why only her appearance? Because if you don't play Yandere Simulator, you won't know that she is an extremely unfinished character. She is only there to make the game more difficult. She does not have a task. Even when socializing with her, there are simple things like her persona. Her persona is the protective persona. It's only given to Raiburu. This persona does not have a corresponding persona, so you can't get a bonus when socializing, and you are also not able to write letters to Raiburu, a feature that all other characters have. The only exception being Senpai, but that's because you can't actually talk to him. And this has kind of been the way ever since she was implemented in 2019 when Osana was implemented. So why is she specifically getting a redesign when it's kind of obvious that she isn't really utilized or really thought about? Another thing I want to bring up is, why are these older references being used? This technically isn't even Raibaru. This is Raibaru back when she was meant to be Osana, back when she was Rival-chan. So why would these be the references for her when she is a totally different character now? Why would they use older references back when she was Rival-chan for the redesign? Especially since these older references have now been painted over so that it's no longer Raibaru in the picture, but it's Osana. And in ones where it's still Raibaru, her eyes were changed to be golden. It seems weird to me that Yandere Dev / Alex would not only give the older references, but also even still have the older art. Because it has been shown many times that he does not respect artists all that much. He can be very nitpicky, which if you're getting art, yes, sometimes you are entitled to that, to a certain extent, of course, because you don't want to overwork or stress them out, but you also are getting this product that you're paying for. That's the thing. He does not pay for art in the game, or not a good majority of it. A good majority of it is done by volunteers, and many volunteers' artwork has been trashed throughout the game. It has been replaced with little to no communication. Reference this video, but there is also more accounts if you would like to look into it. I will add more videos if I can easily find them, because I want more information to be out. I don't want to make some kind of baseless claim based off of it. So yeah, why these old pictures of Raibaru? Is it because he was attached to this older design of Raibaru? But then why didn't he change Raibaru when he implemented her in the game? Because Yan-chan, she's a changed character. She always has been. Her original model was Aoi, who has blue hair and blue eyes, but they were changed to black. Same with Taro Yamada, Senpai. They easily got their textures changed, and it's not hard to change textures in the game. So why was Raibaru's texture never changed? Her eyes are even different from her old eyes in the Satomi model. And another thing, another thing, is the lack of her purple bow. Because with Osana's model was given a bow. She has a little bow in her hair, and it was meant to be a matching accessory with Osana. But now Raibaru does not have that bow, and now Osana is the only one who has a bow, and it very much clashes with her design. So it's not even that they didn't want it to clash with Raibaru's design, because it already clashes with Osana's design, so clashing isn't really an issue. And the whole reason why Osana was even given that bow was because Raibaru had that bow. So it's weird now that Raibaru no longer has that bow. And one of the excuses is that, oh, they just have matching pink accessories. But Raibaru's pink is extremely different from Osana's. It's not even that it's a lighter pink, because that could very much work, just having different shades of pink. It's the fact that her pink is more dusty, not as vibrant. So they don't at all go together in the slightest. Now that's the first point I want to make in this video. But I also want to address the reaction that people have had towards Sophie Stardrop, because it has not been good in the slightest. In Sophie Stardrop's video, the Raibaru redesign is not the main point. It's the first point brought up, and it is something to look at, especially since Alex very much is a cruel and vindictive person. So hearing that he would do something like this isn't really a shocking thing, and I can understand why she would think that, especially with the second point in her video where she goes over that somewhat quite suddenly Alex reached out to one of the voice actors working on her project, saying that he has always thought of this person to be Amai's voice, praising their voice. Yes, they could just be a very good voice actress, I don't doubt that. But in the video, it is stated that it was very sudden and they hadn't had contact with him in a while, and to suddenly be saying that he had always thought of their voice for Amai, even though he was definitely discussing it with other people and hadn't contacted them for a while, is a bit suspicious. And for the third and most serious, Sophie reveals that when she was younger, she had contacted Yandere Dev. And in these screenshots, it's very evident that she was most likely in the process of getting groomed. As I stated before in the video, Yandere Dev has had many accusations with a lot of evidence and many victims coming out saying that they had been groomed from a very young age, usually in correspondence to them being fans of Yandere Simulator. Sophie Stardrop made fan art of Yandere Dev and emailed it to him or displayed it in the Discord. But either way, he saw it, he wrote back, and they eventually got in contact over Discord. She would call him cute nicknames, and he was very much into it in a very much not appropriate way. Nothing of sexual nature happened, but it is very evident that this was not a normal relationship. And again, Alex knew that she was underage because not only did she say it, but he also helped her with her high school homework. And even though she technically got out of it before things escalated, he also knew that his other victims, the ones that did get escalated and he did manage to groom, were also younger. This is the most important part of that video. Not the claims that he may have stolen her design or heavily referenced it in a way to send hate towards her game or just to generally get under her skin. And speaking of hate, I move on to the Yandere Simulator's community that has reacted to this quite negatively. Having your speculations on the design aspect, obviously you are inclined to believe what you would like to believe. That is your belief. And automatically calling someone stupid for believing that a cruel person such as Yandere Dev / Alex might have done this, especially since he has shown cruelty and hostility towards women and girls who have criticized him, and also general hostility towards other games that are Yandere Simulator inspired. But you also have to take into account that he contacted voice actors and has tried to contact other people in her game specifically. That piled on top, it makes sense as to why she would possibly think that he would do something like this. But also, the Yandere Simulator community has a problem. They are on two sides. They are either very passionate, seeing no flaws in anything, or very hateful. This is not how a community should be. This is not how any reaction should be. You can have genuine criticism towards Sophie Stardrop without outright sending hate. A lot of the reactions to her new video is just simply calling her stupid, an attention seeker, and has brought up a lot of drama, too. In fact, one of the first things that unfortunately comes up when you look up Sophie Stardrop rival, speaking about the rival in her game, is a Reddit post that talks about how this person does not really think Sophie Stardrop is a good person. You can have that opinion. Well, okay, let me rephrase it. You can not want to support someone. But in this post, they basically just throw a lot of hate at her, saying that she's only doing this project for money and how that's a horrible thing. That is not a horrible thing. That is a very sensible and reasonable thing to do. Not only because of the experiences that Sophie Stardrop has come from, but also because that's just kind of how life works. If you make a game, you might want to make money off of it. You might just want to make a game to make money. You might want to make a YouTube channel to make money. That is not a horrible thing. And to admit that you just did some of this for money is fine, because you aren't hurting anyone in the process of that. You're being transparent. Sophie Stardrop, in one of her videos, admitted that one of the reasons she wanted to make a Yandere Simulator game, a Yandere type game, was because she knew it would get traction, it would get views, and she would get money in order to not only make that game, but also to support herself. And for people to not only criticize that, but also criticize her way of living, her experiences, and her current financial issues is not okay at all. This is a real living being, a human, who is struggling in her life. She is not here just for this game. You can be curious, you can be skeptical, you can be critical of, yes, the process of making her money. You can personally not want to support the game, so don't give your money. And now you are taking something very sensitive about her and hating on her simply because she isn't an ideal being. You criticize that she got a cat when she is struggling financially. It's her life. She's not hurting anyone. She's taking care of the cat. She's taking care of herself, and her husband is taking care of himself in the best way that they can. Do not hate on them because they are not making your Yandere game the way that you want them to. Again, you can have criticism. That is 100% okay. Am I going to support every single video she has made and every single decision she has made? Hell no, I have my own complaints. I side-eye stuff. But I also know that I shouldn't take everything as black and white. Everything is gray. There's many reasons. I cannot like some of the reasons, but I know that there are reasons. It is not black and white. You don't have to simply either be 100% on board with something or 100% hate it and try to take it down. As far as I can tell, she has not done anything that deserves hatred. She has made mistakes. She may jump to conclusions fast, but there is no concrete proof. And I recommend that the Yandere Simulator community stop reacting so aggressively on both ends.